In 5, 4, 3.
I'm sorry. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Can't
I
just
was
clap.
off.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Wait. Action.
Welcome back. I'm Heath,
I'm Bernie.
and it's the Heath and Bernie Show. Yeah. Hi, y'all. And we're back
I thought you was going to put them in the yeah.
with Tom. Oh,
You did say that.
Yeah,
we
you
were
did.
gonna
I
do
did
it,
say it.
Do it the
but
second
I
time.
whispered a little bit.
Yeah, he was over
I
here.
gave you- I
you
gave you
got
that.
to put the camera
I like
on.
that.
I gave you the lows.
You
so
had
gave
the
the
camera
high.
on.
I forgot. I just a lot in my mind. You should have reminded me.
I just did.
No, it's fine. I find I think the way that they hear it this time,
Yeah.
record that and make sure that you keep that because you can always play that. And you're like, yeah, the extra. Yeah. That's what it'll do.
Echo. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Thomas and Angela back in the building.
Again. All right.
They back.
Welcome, y'all. Y'all saw the previous episode that we shot with them, and they had some great feedback and great comments and a great conversation.
And one of the main sins you're gonna commit if you're a woman is thinking that we're thinking about the stuff that you're thinking about as much as you're thinking about it.
Now, as a Black woman, when I was divorced 8 years before Thomas and I reconnected, and I accomplished many things. I went to school, I advanced in my career, but when I was in my peer group, all I heard about was, when are you going to find a husband?
I think a lot of times we discount the journey that men have to take
That's true.
in order to become
That's
the man
true.
that would be a viable candidate to marry.
So this topic that we're talking about today is what you have learned about X, fill in the blank, from your mate, from your spouse. I have several things. We're going to keep it to 4. I have more than 4, but I've condensed it to 4. 4 things that we'll talk. And so each person will go around and answer that question. The first one is what you have learned about love from your mate.
Oh.
There's some restrictions.
Oh,
Oh, no.
You can't say
Oh.
communication.
Okay.
You can't say compromise. You can't say honesty. You can't say patience. You can't say trust.
Okay.
Out of all the things that you've learned from this question and the next others, you can't use generic ones like I learned how to communicate better. No, that's not. Those are like, save those for somebody else's YouTube video.
He wants real. He wants real.
I want something
He
that's a little
wants
bit
stuff with
more.
some meat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So no
Yeah.
communication, compromise, honesty, patience, and trust. So the question is, what have you learned about love from your mate?
Okay. So
Miss
what
Angela.
I've learned about love from Thomas is the power of sacrifice. That was the immediate word I thought of when I got the topic. Specifically because when you sacrifice, you have to be willing to not always do what you think is right, but what can also serve your relationship and what can serve your partner. And a lot of times with sacrifice, you give something of yourself, meaning your vulnerability, meaning surrendering your will in some cases, and also your desires.
Okay.
So those are sacrifices big for me, because I feel like people hear that word and they don't want to do it because it
Right.
automatically sounds like you have to give something up. But I feel
Wait,
like
that's sacrifice.
and yes, and at its core, that's what sacrifice
Yeah.
means. But
Yeah.
what it's grown to mean to me is understanding that I have something that I can give Thomas that no one else can, in terms of support, in terms of vulnerability, in terms of covenant. So that's really important to me.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Thomas.
How encompassing it really is, and what real love really looks like. I've seen love in so many different forms, but this is the closest thing to what real acceptance felt like. And it showed me that, yeah, it was cool that I accepted that woman when I went and we went down that aisle and on that day, but it showed me that I had to accept her every day, that it had to be a decision I made every single day to love her, to honor her, and to do those things that I promised that one time. I have to decide that every day. If I put it on autopilot.
So what was your word again?
I don't know if it was
Accept.
a particular word.
You said
Acceptance.
accept.
Okay.
but
okay.
but the acceptance, and I mean learning just that I can't call out sick from this. I can't take a day off from this because it's that one time that I take it for granted, that I take her for granted, is the day that it could change our entire relationship.
Yeah.
And so we've even done something. It led us to do something that we're doing next month, and we have an honor challenge that we've made for ourselves for the month of August.
Okay.
And so,
What's that? Talk about that.
So
briefly, because we want to move on.
yeah, briefly. And this part of is that we're going to honor each other, make honor the focus of our love for one another for the entire month. So what I found in looking at in the honor portion is I'm supposed to love everybody. We're supposed to treat everybody well, but you're called to honor your spouse.
Okay.
So the honor to me is all of the extra stuff that you don't give everybody else. It's the excellence that you live your relationship through. So whatever I do for her, that I do it in excellence. So if I know that she's having a bad day, the excellence that I want to do that in is I know the exact things that I can do to brighten her day. If I make her a cup of coffee, I want to make her the best cup of coffee she's ever had. If I go and I'm going to heat up the room for her where she works at in the morning so she can come down there to a welcoming space, I'm gonna make sure that I do it.
It sounds like
do it to excellence.
You're gonna be like her armor bearer.
Well, we're gonna do it for each other.
We're gonna do it for each other. So we're
That's good.
So we're gonna try to out honor each other.
That's good.
Every
That's
single
good.
day.
I like
to
that.
see that and to make sure that that type of stuff sticks.
I like that. That's
So
good. That's
if you
good.
want to took anything, it's honor. It's the honor. What I love.
Wait, that was-
learn from the love
okay.
is the honor.
Okay. All right.
You want to use that? Go ahead, Bernie. I was talking.
What have you learned from me?
Mine's gonna be a little different
Okay.
because I think when this came up, the first thing came to my mind is the thing that I learned about love from Heath is, and I'm going to use the passion that he has in helping others. It's like
Okay.
you, besides me being first, you do put that, like you automatically help other people in whatever they want to do or need to do in their life. It's like a passion that you naturally carry. You naturally just help people in just your conversation with them, helping them be a better person. You could just be having a regular conversation and then you start helping people process their lives. I see you do it all the time, but it's a passion that you carry that I see you do this all the time. And that's a certain kind of love that I'm learning to care and want and think about having, because you naturally have it. So I've learned to like want to be more, do those things like you, to help other people. You just naturally do that though.
Okay. Thank you, I think.
No, that's
Why
no.
you say your thing?
I think you seemed to be appropriate at the time, but I didn't know if it was appropriate.
What, for this question?
Yeah.
Well, that's a part of love that
Right.
I've learned through you. That's why I'm saying it's a little different, because it wasn't necessarily about me and you,
Yeah.
but it is about the love that I see that you have.
Right. So I'll say that because I think we're thinking along the same lines because I remembered how when you said to me one time that you're selfish, and I was like, no, I'm
I'm
not.
talking about you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, yes, you are. And then over like the next couple of arguments, you brought up things that showed me that I actually was selfish.
You don't share your food?
Yeah, that was one of them. Still don't do that.
Yeah, he still have a problem.
Right. And so,
But you're better at it.
yeah.
She had the opportunity to. order the same thing that you order.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what we do. Exactly,
That's what I'm
Thomas.
saying.
You know what? Oh, it's an appetizer. I just want a piece. You know what he does? He gets a whole nother appetizer because he wants
Because
all of his.
I
And
ordered
then he
all of
gets
my food.
All of mine because I just want a
The
little piece.
piece of it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
That's
but that's what we do
that's a
now for
compromise.
peace.
That sounds
But I've
real
you
good.
know I've learned
You know
I've
what?
learned
Don't put me
Don't
in
amen.
there.
I'm just
Come on, amen, corner.
It's sounding real familiar.
so
But
anyway,
put me in
let me
love.
finish. So what I've learned that
You're talking about selfish.
yes, I've learned that I had to work on not being selfish. I had to work on not being selfish with you so that I can love you better.
The love you learn from me.
Yes.
Did you learn?
What I learned from you
that?
was that I was selfish, and that was affecting
I
how I
see.
can love you.
Oh, okay.
My selfishness was going to affect how I can love you
Okay.
because I
Okay.
saw I would instinctively think things should be a certain type of way because that's the way that I
Okay.
want.
I get it. I get it. And
You
were-
understand?
Say that last
I
part.
would instinctively think things should be a certain type of way because that's what I want.
Right.
This is what I want. Remember in the beginning, you would move something
At
and then
Torch
I would
Street,
move
at
it back
his house.
because that's not where that goes.
When I moved into this
Ooh.
house when we got married, I didn't notice it at first because
I do
I would
that
clean
now.
and I would do stuff. But then it would be back. So then I started purposely moving stuff just to see. And then he would go back and move it, whatever. And I
Because that's
said,
not where it
"See?"
should have gone.
Because that was his house when I moved
Ah,
into.
yeah.
That his and her house.
Yeah.
yeah. See
That's a
that?
rough one.
So so when you told me I was selfish and I denied it at first, I realized, oh, I am selfish. So how that has looked over the decades is that because I have intentionally worked on not being selfish, I have had to love you in a way that is allowing you to intentionally allowing you to have your way even when you're not asking for it, and being proactive and giving you your way even though that's not something that you're asking for. So I'll make sure I take a L on this question, incident, preference, just because I want you to have your way.
Yes.
I know you do that. Like
Yeah.
a few times you told me you like ordered extra because you knew I was going to ask.
I did it yesterday. we was out at we left the show, the Angel Marcus.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to this little bakery shop and we ordered some
Prelude
cookies.
Bakery.
Ordered some
Something.
cookies, and she ordered one peanut butter cookie. I know how much she loves peanut butter cookies, so I was like, put two in there because she's gonna be asking for
Right.
some of mine.
What was she gonna do with one? Just one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's selfish or anything, but I do. But
No, you
I
think
do.
ahead of time
Yeah.
too, like, because you know I might ask for something. You're always like, you do think ahead of time.
Yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
say.
But that comes from knowing.
Yeah.
And that's good that y'all
Exactly.
know each other that well.
It's been a long time.
Question number 2. How we doing on time?
You okay?
Okay.
I learned a lot from you.
What have you learned about God and ministry from your mate?
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Did you take that head off?
Ooh.
What have you learned about
like
God
wind
and
came
ministry
You wanna go
from?
this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we can throw something in the middle and we can fight for it.
Which way is me? So I go first?
Do you
No,
want
we
to go
just
the
went
opposite
for-
way,
Oh,
or you
yeah.
want to go?
Well, I'll go first
Okay.
because I think y'all got a lot of stuff to share. God and ministry. I learned that there is a way to be in order and to be out of order when serving. And I learned that because when Bernie joined my church when we first got married, and she saw how I was moving in the church, she was like, "You out of order. Like, what are you doing?
Wow.
You doing too much. You are doing
over the
things that you
place.
should not be doing.
Right.
Why are you doing that?" And I was like, "This is what I should be doing. This is what I've always done. This is my
It's
church.
the norm.
I've done it this way because this is how we do it here." And she was like, "I understand that, but that's out of order."
Yeah.
And so
How you doing is wrong.
yeah. And so I was like, she don't know what she's talking about, whatever. But then I began to see how I was making modifications and accommodations to craziness and incorrect thinking, which fueled incorrect decisions and caused an incorrect behaviors and culture. I saw how the wrong perspective and the wrong judgment affected the movements of everybody to allow us to do everything incorrectly and out of order. And so
I saw that when I walked in the door.
What I realized is that I need to be very intentional about how my relationship with God and how I move in the Lord. And I need to regard Bernie's perspective about natural and carnal things as one that might be the Lord speaking through her.
All right.
That was good.
Okay, that was
deep.
good.
I don't know if I can be.
Bernie.
Okay, so repeat the question, sir, please.
Absolutely.
Just so I
what
can
have
make
you
sure.
learned about God and ministry from your mate?
So I would say what I learned is, I think God and ministry, I learned about grace because for me, everything was a sin growing up. You're going to hell, condemnation. You can't do nothing right. I was trying to be Jesus, which is impossible. I didn't know that. So he came with a whole lot of grace, which I didn't really understand because, back when I was coming up, they used to say, if she wasn't perfect, you just ain't saved.
You're not gonna
You
make it
didn't
in.
get it. You did not get it. You're not going to make it, whatever. You need to just get on the altar, tarry, and just keep tarry because whatever. So I had a lot of that. Ooh, sorry. I had a lot of that like from childhood growing. And he walked up into this joint with all this grace. He just chilling and still loving the Lord, kind of doing whatever. I'm like, is he saved? but it helped me loosen up and be like, okay, it's not, you don't have to be perfect. God does have grace, but still, I learned a lot about you grace through you, because that just helped me calm down and not try to be perfect on this earth, which is utterly impossible.
Interesting. Great job.
Thank you.
Wow.
Mr. Norris.
What I learned about God and ministry through my wife. You ever hear in church where they be like, it don't take all of that? I learned that it does take all of that.
Okay.
From my wife. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's walk's different. Everybody's key moments of faith being new in their life or being real in their life is different. And she taught me how to accept people at wherever they were in Christ. And like you said, Heath came with a lot of grace. She is always continuously challenging me on how much grace and mercy I'm really showing people. And through her, God has become so much more real and so much more obtainable and so much more part of our lives for real. There's, you get people, they know, I know God, I know him, and I know where he live, I know his daddy, and I know where they stay. I've been over there a couple of times before. But I learned so much about God and so much about the depths of love from you through our work in ministry. And it do take all of that. It do take, like you said, it might take you in a room where you helping somebody tarry and see where it goes from there. I've never spoken in tongues before a day in my life till me and my wife started working in ministry together. And she to this day can't tell me what I said. I really wish somebody had told me what I said. But it was
You just made me think of when I was growing up. If you didn't speak in tongues, you don't got it.
You ain't got it. So
You don't got it.
And so she just took me to a whole nother level of worship. I would have never had gone to a church like hers if we weren't together. I would have never gone there just because it wasn't my normal.
Mhm.
And so when she took by my loving her, it took God out of the box that I had kept him in.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of this growth and places, I would have never thought that anybody would have named me to be a minister of anything.
It was
I would have never.
it was confusing to me.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I would have never thought I would have been ordained anything
Wow.
like that. And it was
Are you're serving in ministry now?
well, actually, right now
in
we're
transition.
in the transition of finding a new church
Okay.
home. So yeah, we're but wherever we go, we're going to be serving. We miss serving now, and so
Already.
it was just the transition of finding a place that was closer to our new home.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and that's been
good.
working out well. But
Very good.
I'm indebted to you for the love that you showed me
Awesome.
in ministry, which opened you up into really putting you in a place where I was like, I want more of what she's got. And I know that in order to get where we're going to go, I got to get that. And so God brought it in this wonderfully wrapped package. I'm here today because of
Very nice. Very
Awesome.
I'm
nice.
supposed to top what you said.
Your turn.
Lord,
Don't cry.
what Thomas has taught me about God and ministry is the importance of family. I have been in the same church pretty much all of my life, essentially with my immediate family, but he taught me perspective and how there should be a separation between church and state, and how you have to be very careful that you are not so God-filled that you're no earthly good.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
he showed me how to live. He showed me how to use my voice and to recognize that to speak up doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't, we can have different viewpoints, but
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long
yeah.
as we serve the same God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the end goal.
Yeah.
And so he's shown me different ways to view church and to, now that we're in a new location physically with our home, now we're going to find something that's going to suit both of us. But we're going to take the vision and the foundation that was placed previously, and we're going to run with it. But what he taught me specifically was perspective, because I would oftentimes, like Heath was saying earlier, I would be so consumed with church.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
had
yeah.
gotten to a point where church was no longer about relationship. It was about obligation. It was,
Yeah.
I
Oh my
was
God,
viewing it as
girl.
another job.
Yeah, it was
Bro.
work. It's work.
I'm about to
Yes.
throw you
Yeah.
an offering.
Yeah,
So-
it's
Yeah,
work.
he was like an octopus.
Yes. And so, sometimes you're trying to do everything
Chelsea, yeah.
and trying to serve everyone, and you forget who you're supposed to be serving, which is God.
Mhm.
But he helped me shift and see that relationship matters too. Relationship with your
yeah.
family,
Mhm.
relationship with, with the children, with him. So I'm thankful to you for that, honey, because you've given me perspective. And so when we go into places and we see people running all around,
Yeah.
it's like, I hope they
Out of
get what,
order.
I hope they
Yeah,
get
out
what they
of
need from
order.
God. Yes, because you can't,
Yeah.
if you can't sit down long enough to receive the word. Like,
Nope.
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's definitely
funny.
the perspective is invaluable.
When you start viewing church as okay, I've set it up so they can worship.
yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah.
You've already missed
So
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
You have any comments, Bernie?
No, I was just thinking about us going through that same transition when we were looking for a
Mhm.
service, and we would walk in the church and be like, We sit there for a little while and see what's going on. It's like,
Nope,
nope,
that's
that's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
And,
That's
and
not
actually,
gonna work.
We did that for a year.
your experience allows you to see from a very clear perspective about what you will not do
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and what you will do in the future.
Definitely.
It's like, okay, I need to be in a space that allows me to be free to do these things or or to worship this way. And if you see something contrary to that, it's not ambivalent. It's not like you don't guess what to do. You know,
Like,
this is
It's
not
very
what we're doing.
familiar.
This
Right.
is not it.
Yes.
When we walked in that church and saw that thermometer that was not even halfway filled
It
up.
was a big banner. It was a
the
building
building
Yeah,
fund.
building fund, the building fund thermometer,
Mhm.
and it was at $5,000, and there's a $250,000
at the
was to
top.
go.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, we won't be here again.
Yeah, we've you know what, modern technology has made church vetting so much easier
That's
now.
so true.
if your live stream jacked up,
Look, if you don't have a live stream,
like that's
Right.
that's okay, cool. You're off the list. We've
it
we were
simplifies
looking.
your life.
See,
We
this
will.
is
And look, no
sound
shade
person.
to the
No
folks who
shade
don't
at
have
all.
that.
Yeah.
No,
But if you know
yeah.
what if you know you're looking for a certain type of ministry,
Yeah.
Yes. And I was looking for something that, because I truly believe that the way that things are set up is that we're going to gather what we need to get from the places that wherever we're going now, so that we can eventually go back and still do ministry together at our own. So it's like, okay,
hold up. So y'all are talking about eventually starting your own church? Is that what I just heard y'all say?
is
Is that what I heard you say?
this is the breadcrumb.
Yes. Yeah, you hear that?
So,
that was
but
a
I was
bread-
saying that
you
it may be
throwing
that may be a possibility, but I
I
don't want to
get
go
it.
anywhere. And because the way we've worshiped, I've been able to worship God for real, and I know that okay, there are some things that you need to do, and I've watched some of this. You can't take me there with terrible praise and worship. You can't.
It just don't
You
work.
can't. When you with
yeah.
terrible praise and worship,
Mhm.
and that's all. That's all. You sung that one terrible song.
Oh my God.
That's
That
why
way?
you think that
Yes.
I'm prepared
Oh,
to go
dang.
into to
Sorry.
fully be open for worship? No, do it again. Do it again.
Not do it again.
Do it
Said
again, and
fully
not
be
you.
open.
Not
Okay.
you.
Okay, let's
Do it
go to the
again.
next one. Let's go to the next one.
I'm just for real.
What have you learned about leadership and trust from your mate?
Oh wow.
What have you learned about leadership and trust from your mate? Whose turn is it to go?
Are we still doing round robin where now it's her go?
Did we
Oh,
go?
we can
We
do
started
random
last
week. We
time.
started last
Yes.
time.
Okay, so we started with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Leadership
wow.
and trust.
Okay. What I have learned about leadership and trust from Thomas is that leadership is not always one person all the time. Sometimes you take turns
Yes.
with leadership.
Mhm.
It really depends on what our strengths and weaknesses are. But whoever is in place to lead, the other person needs to serve as a support. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And we've discovered that case in point with the children, where if he's taking the lead on something, and if I'm not fully engaged or fully present, it communicates an inconsistent message to our children.
Yes.
And so we have conversations about what that looks like. And with trust, for me, Thomas has never given me a reason to distrust him. And so with relationships, I approach them coming in being fully trusting until you give me a reason not to trust
Okay.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes with the way that he piles on the no, I'm letting you know X, Y, and Z. Some stuff I'm like, I don't want to know that stuff, but he'll tell me because he
Mhm.
wants to make certain there are no secrets.
Yeah.
I'm not being blindsided.
That's
That's one
good.
thing I don't want to be
That's good.
blindsided.
Exactly.
And so he's taught me
You
that.
dry snitch on yourself.
Yeah, he will.
Look.
real quick.
Look.
Real quick.
Ain't nothing. Look, what I've learned about love
Mhm.
is that, and I know you said don't use that word, but you gotta be honest. A woman will love you through any situation if it's her choice, but do not fool her into thinking that something is something when it ain't.
Mhm.
And so if I ever look like, oh no, I'd rather you find it out from me
Mm-hmm.
than somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, this is what this is. This is what it's going to be. If you accept it,
Cool.
we cool. If you don't accept it, then it's on me to fix it.
Mhm.
But either way, you got an opportunity to give me your honest feelings about
Yeah,
it
yeah.
before I tried to trick
You know what?
and to
That's
fool
so-
you.
That is
into
so
something
true.
else.
Because women be so pissed off. You know why half the time they piss off? Because they in the freaking dark.
Yes.
And
They
you did,
constantly in the dark.
Yes.
and I didn't allow it to be your
Exactly.
decision to accept it.
And so half the time they might accept that, whatever. If
Yes.
they just
If we
knew.
only-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
It's
gotta
so
remember.
true.
If he had a
Right.
peg leg, but it was all the years he didn't wear shorts.
See?
Lying to you.
Exactly.
And
And now
now-
I'm pissed.
Because you was into that.
Exactly.
But now you're not into
Now I
that.
like it.
Because he
Exactly.
lied.
But I will also say that another part of trust is being vulnerable emotionally.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting.
I am someone that's a natural introvert. And so a lot of times I expect Thomas to read my mind, or I could be upset about something and he'll see it on my face, but I haven't verbalized it.
Oh.
But he's taught me that when I when I don't bare my soul, so to speak, I'm showing him I don't trust that he's going to hear me or, try to fix or try to address whatever it is. So
That's
sometimes
good.
I have to ask myself, what am I, I'm keeping this to myself. Why? Who is it benefiting? Because if I don't tell him, tell him, I can't get upset with him for not addressing it or making the corrections
That's good.
because I didn't tell him. So I'm
That's
learning
good.
that there's honesty required in trust too.
Thomas, thank you, Angela. What have you learned about leadership and trust from Angela?
It's crazy, but it's almost the same thing. I've learned that I don't have to put my name on front of anything. I don't have to be the first thing out the door. I don't have to be the first person out the gate. It ain't got to be my way or the highway. One of the best leadership qualities is being able to delegate and trust that the person that you delegated to is going to do it to a level of excellence that you don't have to even say anything.
Yeah.
I know that I can leave things in her hands, and Angela is a wonderful and capable person of doing it. And she's going to do it to a level that I'm going to be excited and happy with. As far as vulnerability, I don't know what happens, but nobody told me this, that after 40, that everything was going to touch me and affect me in some emotional way.
What you mean?
I have been able to be shut off and cold about a bunch of things that other people would have felt, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And I'm like, well, you should be happy you weren't there. And I would be fine with that. But her allowing me to trust her as much as I do has allowed me to be vulnerable.
See, I don't.
And it's strange. Little kids in movies and all kinds of things. My sons break me up all the time.
Okay. I can
And
understand
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. This little boy, real quick example. My birthday was back in June. This little boy had never told me exactly how he felt about me. And this little nigga he decided that on my birthday, which was also Father's Day, he was going to hand make me a card and was going to include this little sayings talking about superheroes save people. They save people. And he was like, you're our superhero.
Hey.
Because you've saved our lives and you make our lives better.
Yeah.
Do you know I sat here?
Oh, he was
big grown man.
Yes.
Like if I see him, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
He was so broken
I was
up.
so because it was like
that will break a dude down.
Oh yeah, he was so.
and I
broken
was
up.
like, and I'm sat up there and I was like, I can't believe you had the audacity
got me
to
out
do
here like this.
Yes.
to do this to
Oh, he
me.
was hot.
And it's like, and it comes like we watch stuff all the time, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I don't even understand.
And I'm looking at him
Why
like, are you
my eyes are sweating. It was a little video that came on. What was it?
It was Instagram.
It was on Instagram. This woman took her autistic child to see Beyonce. And one thing about children on the spectrum, they don't show emotion like that. And this little girl is tearing up crying because she's got to see Beyonce. And I'm sitting up there like, oh my God.
He was crying.
Like, could you stop? But I've never had a relationship where I could be the lamb.
Yeah.
All lion.
Yeah.
All day, every day. Matter of fact, super lion, because that's what they wanted. They want a lion that was going to carry a gun, but made 6 figures at the same time, had thug life tattooed across his mane.
Oh my
Because
God.
that's what they said they wanted. But it was being that person and how well-rounded it's made my love for her and my love for the children and love for everybody else. If I can cry, if I can be emotional, I can be emotional for you. And when things happen for you,
I don't
I
understand.
can really be happy for you.
I don't. The whole word vulnerability. I understand it. I just don't. I can't even articulate what I don't. But I just
That ain't your word.
It's not my word.
Okay.
Because vulnerability is, to me, okay, so in my field,
Okay.
in the IT arena, when you have a vulnerability to a system, that's a weakness.
Yes,
a
that's what I was
problem.
just thinking.
That's a weakness, and you have to mitigate that weakness with things that shore up the strengthening or strengthen your system to prevent it from an attack.
Right.
So
Okay.
I understand what vulnerability means in the context of relationships, but I have never seen myself as wanting or needing or having to be vulnerable. I may think of it as a different word,
Right.
but I just don't. I don't connect with the word vulnerability. Dag, I had it on y'all the whole time. I don't connect with the word vulnerability because I just don't connect with it. But I don't say people should not be vulnerable or men should not be vulnerable. I just, for me, I just do not, because I can't afford or don't want to be or can't see myself as being vulnerable. I just can't see it.
I think because of the way you look at it in IT as
Right.
it being a weakness, but in relationships it's more like a opening as
Right.
opposed to something is broke. It's more of a
I
opening.
mean, it's to me, it's the
But-
same thing. Like in the system, you have a weak area that's
open.
open that people can
Get into.
and then
Yeah.
And then
misuse
attack
and
it.
breach and attack
Yeah.
or misuse or have unauthorized access.
I could see how you don't connect with the word vulnerability.
Mhm.
Vulnerability.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever.
That was
But-
close.
Yeah. But
If that wasn't the funniest moment,
sometimes my mouth just don't work right. That pause? No? Okay.
yeah.
Pause.
I'm gonna let
okay.
you pause.
Okay, thank you. I never know when to pause. He tell me I be out here reckless.
You be knowing when to pause sometimes. Go ahead. But it's your turn
But
anyway.
you-
Truth and leadership. Go
Okay,
ahead.
truth and leadership, but just for you're not really an emotional person. You say you
I
are.
keep saying I'm not an emotional person.
Well, you really not.
I am an emotional person.
Well, you don't wear emotions on your
I
sleeve.
express my feelings. I emote my feelings.
Okay. You don't wear them on your sleeve though.
I mean, I don't know what that means, but I do express my emotions.
Okay. You
I don't
do
think that what he
eventually.
does is negative.
No.
It's just a different way.
It's just
a different way
of doing it.
emotions.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's so in touch with his emotions that he doesn't have to.
Right. He
even put
doesn't wear them
there.
out. Right.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, he
that is a
doesn't.
very good
Well, that's what I know
articulation.
what it is.
You said the
Yes.
same thing. That's what I meant about how you don't wear it outward.
Yeah.
But
That's
to
what
me,
he
but to
said.
me, my emotions are the external expressions of my feelings.
Okay.
And so this is how.
I know exactly what it is. Just to speed it up, you are extremely emotionally intelligent. You have extreme emotional intelligence because emotional
where?
intelligence is knowing when and where to
yes,
put them out.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you are never allowing your emotion to run you.
No.
I don't know how many
No.
years I've known you. I've seen you when you talked about stuff that made you mad, but I've never seen you act in your anger.
Because his anger is calm.
Yes.
When he's
It's-
upset or angry about something and he's like if he needs to talk to somebody,
He's the nicest and scariest man I've
talking-
ever met. in my
right, he's
life.
talking
I'm
very
just saying.
stern.
Yes.
and just to the point, very forceful, but not loud. It's very calm. But
Okay.
sometimes people don't know that he's angry, so he'll be like, "Bernie, I need to do the angry black woman thing and want me to get on the phone because it's a whole lot of emotions."
Because when I'm upset or get frustrated, I get very calm and I start using big words.
And so people don't think that you're really
And I'm not
as
using big
upset
words.
as you
Right.
are. in
Right?
that
And they
moment.
don't even have a clue.
And to the point, other point I was going to make, for me, because I am extremely, what do you call it?
You're emotionally intelligent.
Emotionally intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And I see myself as a conduit for helping other people achieve what it is that they want.
yeah, you do.
And
all
I
day.
see myself, in the words of Paul, is I become all things to all men so that I can help somebody. I don't think that's where he ends it, but because I see myself, okay, who do I need to be for you? Who do I need to be for you? Who do I need to be for you so that I can help you do whatever, or I can help the situation, or I can achieve whatever goal I'm trying to accomplish. So I know how to activate certain parts of me so that I can achieve the goal that I want to accomplish, or help you achieve your goal that you want to accomplish. So to me, my emotions are like a not a switch, but they are activated.
Channel.
Okay.
They're activated when they need to be activated. And so being vulnerable to me is like, I don't know where that fits into the way that I activate my emotions. Like when I'm at a football, Bernie says I'm not emotional, but if you go to you take me to a football game, or you put sports on and you talk about
The Cowboys.
or you talk about even some other conversation that we were having that I'm passionate about,
Right.
you'll see my emotions.
House music.
My house music. When I laugh, that's emotion.
Right.
So I express those very freely, and I don't have any qualms about doing it. Or if I don't agree with something, and y'all have seen it, if I don't agree with something, I'll express that very, very openly.
But he's not gonna fight and get all out of character and
Right.
lose who he is in that emotion.
No,
We just become
unless
so accustomed.
I deem
Right.
that necessary to achieve my goal.
Right.
Okay,
Because there's
Right.
been
it's
some
good that
time.
I've never seen you
Yeah,
deem
and
that
I
necessary.
rarely ever do it. There's some times that there's been occasions where I'm like, okay, I need to turn off this filter because this person's not respecting what I'm saying, and she's
Okay.
getting a little reckless with. There was a situation she was getting a little reckless and felt that she could just say anything.
Oh wow.
I'm not talking about Bernie.
Yeah, I knew you weren't talking about me.
She thought she could just say anything. And I'm like, it first caught me off guard, and I felt embarrassed because, not embarrassed, but I felt embarrassed of myself for not being prepared to respond to her recklessness. I was like, she caught me slipping. She caught me slipping. She caught me out here.
you gotta
She
get
said
past
something
that.
that was a little bit reckless, and I was like, I wasn't prepared. So I was like, I just didn't say anything. So I was like, okay, let me get prepared next time. And so I was prepared the next time, and she said it again. And so I gave her like a prompt warning, like, you might want me be mindful because I'm about to take off my filters. She's like, I don't mind people with filters off. I was like, so this is where we're gonna go. So then I was like, okay, removing filters.
So she wanted the argument.
Yeah, she won. I was like, okay. So but I was in a public setting, and I was there to help somebody else do something else. So I didn't want whatever was going to happen between me and her to be the disruption, because it would have been a disruption of what was happening for the day, because I was there to help somebody else on set.
And see how you let that. You processed all of that.
Yeah.
Right. Most people.
Somebody would have not processed that
And would have just reacted.
properly
Yeah,
and would have
okay, yeah.
reacted at home.
And I don't know how to do that.
Against a child or something. And to be able to be like, you know what? I'm mad. Because you know what ticks me off? People that, what you did make me feel some kind of way. You know exactly what kind of way you feel.
Right.
Say
right.
that and mean that. I'm mad. It hurt me. Even to say I'm embarrassed that I didn't step up in a way that I've always prepared myself to step up.
And that makes me feel that to me was a vulnerability.
Vulnerable.
Yes.
That's a
there it
vulnerability.
is.
Like,
There it is.
Acknowledge
She
it.
got
she caught me
you.
slipping.
Yeah.
She caught me
duct
slipping.
tape.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
This is
So now let me be
Yeah,
prepared, because I
there
wasn't
it is.
expecting that to come this way.
There it
It was
is.
like anyway. But so that's how I see vulnerability. I don't recognize vulnerability as an emotion, being able to feel free to express emotions, because I just don't do it that way. But Bernie, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And I
What
think
was
this-
the topic again?
leadership
Oh.
and trust. What you learn?
Leadership
God
and trust.
ministry.
no,
she
what's
did
it?
got it. She
Leadership
did got
and
it.
trust.
Ministry
okay.
already.
We're on trust and leadership.
Trust and
What
leadership.
did I learn
What did you
about-
learn about trust and leadership from me?
Okay, so from you, leadership. Well, okay, so leadership. Wow, I've seen how other folks don't have it. That's what I learned about it through you. But I think for us in our household, what I learned about from you with leadership is that which works very well for me. There's very clear roles in our household on leadership, and we just have clear roles on. I don't think we switch well, maybe we do on certain things. What am I trying to say? Jesus. We have very clear roles on leadership. I like your role as you being the leader, and I also like how things that we do, like finances. I take care of the finances, and then sometimes I'll let you know, hey, if you need to look at this, whatever. But I think the roles are very clear.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I like
Okay.
that dynamic. But
What have you learned from
What
me
have
about
I
trust
learned
and
about-
leadership?
well, I think I learned from you.
You haven't learned anything from me from trust and leadership? That's what it sounds like.
I'm not getting to trust. No, I've
Not
learned
the guy
leadership
who
from you
is.
from
From what?
not seeing it in other places. That's all I could.
Oh, she.
He gave-
oh,
he
okay.
gave-
She
he's
she
given an
learned what
example
real
of what
leadership was.
Yes.
Oh.
from you.
I've
from you.
learned because when I constantly see non-leadership in other places, so
Okay.
I've learned leadership from you because
Okay.
we have that all the time. So when
She witnessed it firsthand.
yeah,
from
I
you.
don't see
Okay.
it in other places.
Right.
So you learned what leadership is not
Yes,
And what it is.
and what it is.
what it is because I see it not
You
being
see the
done
absence of it in
Yes.
other relationships.
constantly.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, trust. I learned trust from you is that. So I came with a lot of trust issues into this
Oh,
relationship.
that's right. You did.
Yes, Whew, a whole
You
lot.
did.
So I
Yeah.
learned that he
did.
he made I learned that if he continued to just be himself, that grew my trust because of course I didn't trust in anything that he said. That's just was my natural
Yes, she still married me.
stance.
Yes.
I did
I don't
because I was
understand.
just waiting for whatever.
Shoot a
Anyway.
drop and be miserable.
Anyway,
I don't know.
But his,
I don't question it.
his
him
leadership
being his
led
leadership
to
and
your
him
trust.
being right and him continuing.
That's
See,
why I
and
put it
that's very
together.
true. That is very true.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
why
I'm
I
about
wrote
to
the
say,
book.
y'all, it's the book.
That's why I
Yeah.
wrote the
Like
book.
y'all stances on this particular thing has already been explained.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's his leadership led to your
Her
trust.
right. That's the name of the book. But so
That's why I named the book that way.
right. But it's very true
Could
because
you put a picture of the book right here and where it can be found at?
Everybody point.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened. He constantly was himself, which made my trust issues just dissipate.
Yes, or grow.
No, they went away.
Oh, the trust
The
issues.
The
went
issues went
away
Yeah.
because you constantly was just an awesome Mufasa in your leadership, and it made me just follow right behind. follow right behind. So that's what I learned about leadership and trust through you.
Okay.
If that was understandable.
Yes, thank you. I understood that.
Okay.
What I learned about it from you is that, and we talked about a little bit about the breadcrumbs, is that you have to lead at the pace. Whew. You have to lead at the pace that's beneficial for the organization, the team, the couple, the marriage. You cannot lead at the pace that you're comfortable with, nor her, because she would go slower than we need to go. And I'm going faster than we need to go.
Okay.
So you
And
have to find a,
you have to find
balance.
yeah. And the responsibility to find a balance isn't a clear, well, not the responsibility. The process for finding the balance is not a clear book. It's not you have to just learn it over time. And it comes in the form of opposition to your pace,
Okay.
which one would initially reject because it's you're leading or you're trying to lead and you're getting opposition. But I look at opposition as, okay, let me find a way to move in a pace that is productive for both of us, lest we both end up there, and by the time we arrive, neither one of us wants to be together, which we've seen in our working with couples. Like, you had a goal that you wanted to achieve, and you were so pressed on getting the goal that you just basically got her hand and you're dragging her behind you, or she's pushing him forward or dragging him behind her. And by the time you reach the goal,
Nobody's happy.
nobody's happy and you want a divorce.
and you walked off.
Exactly.
Got your left hand.
So, if you had, or you left him along the way, you're like,
Yeah.
you just get off
You
my
never
by
made it.
myself. And if you would have chosen in the beginning, if you'd have known that by the time you finish this goal of whatever that is, career, college, education, at the time frame that you want, that you would be divorced and unhappy, and your children would be upset, and you would feel like your children would feel like, how come daddy doesn't love us?
Wow.
If you knew that before you started, would you have started anyway, or would you have moved differently?
Right.
And so I realized that the pace that I have to move has to be considerate of what Bernie requires and needs and is appropriate for her.
Also, when you said, you basically were saying, and there's no blueprint to that, you had to learn that.
Yeah.
It's also, you had to learn different paces because on different ideas and decisions, there's a different pace that I would move depending on the decision or the thing
Yes,
that we're
yes,
marching to.
yes.
Because sometimes
Exactly.
it's huge. A lot of times it's huge with you.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing never little. It's always very a huge risk stuff or whatever. That's just how
got
you
a lot of
operate.
big ideas.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, there
Yeah.
always be ain't nothing never little.
I
But
got I
that's
serve
okay.
a big God. Come on now.
But
Hey.
that's okay. I know who I married. I know who I married. But you had to learn, like, it's different paces that you have
Right.
to take with me,
That's
depending
right.
on whatever the thing is that we about to do.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. You real smart, dude. Like, seriously. Like, I have to give you your props on it. To come up with that whole thing and put it together. And I started seeing what it took and the research, and you
What-
went
what
to
thing?
school. Your
The
book.
book.
Oh, okay.
Like, seriously. I was reading this book and I was like, yo, just like,
It's
really,
really, good.
smart. like I eat lunch with this fool. Like, seriously.
Right.
Like, I'm in the room with somebody this intelligent. Like, this is
Appreciate that.
crazy.
Yeah,
And
it is
it's
a good
like,
book.
because a lot of people never even thought to take it that deep.
Yeah.
But he took it that deep and it
Mhm.
made sense. And it
Yeah.
was like, why aren't you doing this? And so I appreciate it. Because
Yes.
I mean, a lot of the little nuggets that you drop that you didn't even know you was dropping that I was picking up, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me find a way to put my spin on this and make this mine.
Okay.
Because everything
Yeah.
you got to buy into.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So, and there's a
Exactly.
level of buy-in with everything.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so when I found out that, okay, I could trust what he was saying because I met you. And I was like, okay, cool. Their relationship is real. Because he gives you a story that might have been hard to understand. Because the way that they found each other was so unconventional.
Oh, it is.
That it was like so crazy, so off the wall that it made me say, okay, I could trust that because it worked.
Right.
So I could apply a little bit of the process to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
when
you
I
did low key.
And when I did, that's how I found
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
seriously. It's crazy. Like I bought in. I
Yeah, you
believed. So yeah. But
That's awesome.
we're gonna time out. Just need a butt break real quick. The seat was tearing my tail up over here. And I was like, I can't squirm no more.
I saw you turning. I was like, I think he's
I
uncomfortable.
just needed to.
You been
to
butt
stretch
for
it.
real.
Yeah, he's been uncomfortable.
I had to stretch it for a second.
I saw you was turned, and I was
Yeah,
like, why is he turning?
because I was like, oh man, when we was talking about the kids, I was able to let a cry out. Like, this cheek is gone. It's gone. The cheek is gone. My pants ain't even gonna fit right over there. No butt cheek there.
Oh my gosh.
Why are you like
I'm
this?
just stretching it out real quick. Yeah, there we go.
Stretching it out.
I'm just stretching it out. What we got? One more question?
Yeah, I
Wait,
think
you gotta finish because you didn't say trust.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
right.
you got to do
Oh,
trust.
you got
Yeah.
to trust. Okay, cool.
You
Okay.
said leadership.
Lead the stuff in there where I was giving you your props though, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you definitely
I
gonna keep
appreciate
that.
that. Definitely.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. That was awesome.
Trust.
What did you learn about trust through me?
So, like, I wrote the book, His Leadership, Her Trust, because to me they're synonymous. Ting. They're synonymous, and I learned that if you, what's going on outside?
I know. It's been blowing like that.
Oh, it's supposed to be a really bad storm today.
Y'all didn't hear that horn?
It's an actual horn?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Is that somebody's phone?
Yeah, that's
No,
the emergency
it's an emergency
broadcast.
alert.
Oh, alert. My
Severe
volume is
thunderstorm in effect
Oh, until 5.
until 5 p.m.
Oh, I just got it too.
For
Okay.
oh man,
My volume is down.
they got 80
yeah.
mile an hour winds.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing outside.
Oh,
National Weather
Girl,
Service.
well, we
severe
anchored the car
thunderstorm,
down as best as we could.
5 p.m.
Put them spikes on there.
Oh, I see them trust and leadership as synonymous things, and so I realized that in order for you to trust me, I had to provide. Excuse me. I had to provide leadership that you can rely on.
Okay.
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep.
Okay.
Yes, Mufasa. Yes.
I had to provide leadership that you can rely on.
That's what I told you.
And
See?
and
That's
and
what I
what
was seeing.
and what trust then allowed you to do was, and people refer to now as your feminine side or a soft feminine side. I what it allowed you to do is to release the barriers that you had that were protective of yourself
Okay.
and allow
That had
you
to be.
to relax and be more giving of yourself to me in other areas because you did not have to feel like you had to protect yourself.
Okay.
You know, when you said that was nothing, I mean, that was nothing but the Lord that allowed you to give me leadership that I could rely on, because you know my number one pet peeve is a
People not
person's
saying
word,
that-
people's
saying what they gonna
word,
do.
yeah, and
Following
not
through with what
following
they do.
through, and not saying what you're gonna do, or you know, just not following through. That's my number one thing. I cannot live with that, and so you giving me leadership that I can rely on is exactly what I needed to like trust and open up.
And also to that point,
I felt that day.
Yeah.
That was.
It's the truth,
Yeah.
because
Say
I've
that.
been through some
I mean, but it's something that is so taken for granted.
yeah, it's
And
major.
And we would, so many men would be healthy men if they learned to tell the truth.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh.
That's right.
We are walking around here burdened by the insecurities that we created with the lies that we told.
Mm.
And if we could trust love enough to just be honest with it and be like, no, baby, I don't have all of this, or I'm not proficient in this, or I need more time in this. And then allow her love of you to say, you know what, I got you just as you
Exactly.
are.
Exactly.
Then you could be vulnerable fully and be all that you are, and you have no reason to feel like this is a fraud.
You might grow.
Yes, and you would grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the insecurity, you choking on your own lie.
Exactly.
Because you knew if she knew the truth, you think that if she knew the truth, that she'd be gone. But now you know that the only reason why she's here is because she believes something that
That's
you're
not
not.
true.
So, yeah,
Yes,
crazy.
it's crazy. You were saying
I forgot what I was going to say.
trust.
Right. That
I was
good.
I just was saying that
Oh,
when
I'm
you
sorry,
said
I guess I
leadership.
changed
Right. He was listening to that. Right.
I had said you said the leadership that I could rely on, and how that was such a big deal, because that's one of my pet peeves.
Yes,
It's a
thank
deal
you.
breaker. Thank you.
I realized, and this just recently came up in I think another previous podcast about how I lead just in general and specifically you. That when you ask me questions, I realize that I am responding as a leader,
Okay.
as a
Oh,
husband
we had
and
this
leader
conversation.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I'm looking at it from the lens of how do I make this happen, or how do I lead her through this, and it's not the emotional.
Right. We had this
yeah, we
conversation.
had it.
This is why I said he
It's not
wasn't
the
emotional.
thing that you want, the heartfelt. That's what we said.
Right,
It's not the
heartfelt.
heartfelt
That I want to
emotion
hear.
that you want to hear. But she's like, how would you like being married to me?
So see, yeah.
She
And
wants
I'm
a
looking for
nice fluffy. But I'm looking at the process of how I lead you,
Right.
and I'm looking at it as a strategic thing because I'm the one leading.
And so his answer is good, but it's never fluffy.
Yeah, and she doesn't
So
feel
I'm
the
always
woman.
looking for.
Yeah, and I realize
where's the fluffy?
because
Whoa.
you're asking
Right.
a leader, a general, what is it like leading?
Your troops.
your troops.
Right.
And I'm like,
You don't view it like that.
okay, in order for this to happen, I have to make sure that I leave breadcrumbs. I have to be conscious of the whole process so that I can give you the pieces that you need. I have to be emotionally intelligent enough to give you what you need at the time that you need it, so that you can feel whatever you need to feel, so that you can trust me, so that when I say we got to move, we can move. And then when we move, I got to figure out the pace in which we got to move, so that it's not too fast for you, but it's fast enough. It's all that thinking that I'm going through that is done to formulate a statement that gets you moving.
Right.
This is why last night when we went to see Angel and Tank, Kia, hi Kia, we met you last night if you're watching. Kia said, what do you do? Are you a policeman? Are you in the military? Because you carry that strategic thing all the time. it's in his presence when he just sit down at a table. People always think he's military, been in the military. They think he a policeman.
Yeah,
they think he's some kind of like.
I can see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
'Cause, you know,
Darn it.
see
I
how
hit
he
the table.
policed that,
I'm
right?
right. See?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the very like straight laced.
Yes,
Like, okay,
he-
they need to get started. Whatever's about to, just
People always
yeah.
ask, "Were you in the military? Or were you this? Or you a policeman?" But
No,
that's
what-
why.
So we might do. Will we have to make this the last one? Then it's
Yeah.
going to be in the recording.
Well, that's not. I'm not worried about that. But we
Oh,
are.
okay.
We are well into this, and
Was that the last question?
well, I'm gonna make that the last question
Okay.
because it's going. We would be well into 2 hours if we go into.
Wow.
That's a long one.
Yeah.
Maybe we
That's
can
a
make
long
this too.
Yeah, you
One
might.
part
We
two.
might break it up in segments.
I'll see, but a lot of it was the
Cutting.
I'll have to edit out
Okay.
because of the time that we spent setting up the scenario.
You might have to cut the scenario and make.
No,
the
I'm not
sce-
cutting scenario.
No, cut it, but make the scenario like a short.
Oh, okay.
That's a
You
good
know.
idea.
Yeah, so keep it. You got to tease people with premium content. You know, hey,
See,
hey,
but
you-
as you're saying that, I'm thinking about all the work
All
that
the
goes
editing.
into the.
I told him teach
Yeah.
me editing. He don't think I could do
No,
it.
no, not
do it,
yet.
though,
You're not
because
ready for it yet.
Really, editing is like a story. You got to be able to tell the story,
I
but
like
he don't
the-
think
I like
I
the
can
way
do
he
it.
said
How
that.
fast he said, no, you're not ready
for it.
He don't think
he
I can
said,
do it.
No, I'm not ready. For it.
No, I said you're not ready for it, but that really means
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it.
But he let me
Yeah.
do I do put the stuff on YouTube now. I learned how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's posting on YouTube.
I
so
post the
yeah,
stuff
I
on
gotta get it.
YouTube.
Then after that, I move her up to posting
The shorts.
posting in the shorts and
Yeah,
stuff.
he don't let me do that
man,
yet.
You gotta understand, man. This is so much fun. Like this is fun for me. I enjoy talking to y'all. Y'all have great conversation. We could talk all night about stuff like this.
But
what?
we can't. So we just end this because people been watching for a long time.
Oh, I didn't. I thought I was
thought
looking
we
at the
ended.
cutting floor, and that we were just.
See, that's
this was
more work that
behind
I
the
got to
scenes.
do.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people.
'Cause I had to go through this whole thing
Talking
and then
like
edit
y'all
out.
weren't there.
What was the last question? I'm just curious.
It was what have you learned about yourself from your
Your
mate? But I
mate.
think we've spoken a lot about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've done that. We only do that.
Yeah. I did
Okay.
have other
you
things in
okay?
here.
That was good.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that was
I
my
heard
foot.
that.
That was my foot. That's my foot.
Oh, I thought that was the knee.
No.
Because then I saw
You'd have saw a reaction.
Yeah.
It was a
Wow.
knee.
Yes.
But if y'all hung in this long, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you got some good insight from just our different stories, relationship. They've been married almost 4 years. We've been married 25 years. And so you see the different perspectives that people have. And I think hopefully it's beneficial and educational for you all, and entertaining to some degree.
Yes.
So please like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, share. If you found some value in this. Anything you want to say?
I just want to thank Thomas and Angela for
Yes.
being with
You're
us.
so
Thank
welcome. It was
thank
an
you
honor
guys.
and
It
a
was
pleasure.
wonderful.
Yes.
I'm glad. Thank
you
y'all
for
for
the
coming
insight.
through.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll definitely bring y'all back again.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We
Okay.
love
I'm
chatting with
down.
y'all. Love
I'm
it.
down.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Angela, you giving that laugh like, okay.
It's just the initial jitters. That's all.
Oh, please. She's nervous, but
I don't know why she be dropping
you're
bars.
You
I
gonna be a
know.
whole pastor. What you talking about?
I know, right? She
I know,
can
right?
preach you under the table. I don't understand it.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.